All right, friends, welcome to this other LearnPack exercise where we're going to iterate through an array from scratch from the very beginning. So, how are we going to do that? How can we go through all the items in an array? Perfect. Now, how do we get to the end of this array without counting each item individually? Well, we're going to use the length property that arrays have. So what are we going to do? When n is less than my array.length, that's where the for loop will stop, or rather that will be the condition that must be met for the for to execute. Once this condition is not fulfilled, the for will stop. We will do n plus plus and we will do a console.log just of n to see what happens. And look, when I do the console.log, I have here 54. It goes from 0 to 54. That means we actually have 55 elements here, because remember, we start counting from 0. So how are we going to access each of these elements? We're going to use the same n that we declared within the for, and we're going to use the square bracket notation and insert the n. That way, we'll access the first one, then the second, then the third, the fourth, and so on. And look, here we have it. Here we have all the array's items. We start at 232 and end at 5. So, as the console.log is correct, it means that this is correct, which means that if I hit run test, in theory, it should pass, and in this step, everything passed without issues. Therefore, we can move on to the next exercise. It's important to remember that to access the items of an array, we use their index. In this case, to iterate through the entire for, we use the length of this array, and when n is smaller than array.length, we continue iterating in the for. Thus, we use this and that goes from arrow up until before it is that length to be able to access the array's items. Perfect. I hope this has helped you understand how to loop over an array. So let's continue then.